pie del Ávila majestuoso, a 920 metros sobre el nivel del mar, en un valle de verde geografía que se abre de este a oeste, surge Caracas, la capital de Venezuela.
And now, our feature presentation.
You are watching a master at work.
Go get some!
What's going on, fellas? My name is Rafael Chacinas Nuez, el Capitán Rafucho, and welcome to another episode of The Combat Club. It is a show with 100% extreme attitude because in this club, we're born to fight. Anytime, anywhere, anyone. And let's just give it a lot of applause because right now it is the perfect moment to see our Tuesday recap because I thought we're going to do it on Monday, but unfortunately my co-host Science is very busy, so we're just trying to figure it out about over for the next episodes. You know what I mean? Yeah, over for the next episodes we're going to do about it. So don't worry, fellas. Don't worry, fellas. So we're just trying to do our best. All right, so you just give me a lot of applause because, you know, I just wanted to tell you, we're just getting back. Yeah, we're just getting back with a brand new season coming up there. So thank you very much. All right, so make sure to subscribe to Capitan Rafucho on YouTube. Also, you can follow me on every social media. Twitter at Capitan Rafucho, Instagram at Capitan Rafucho 93, Kick at Capitan Rafucho, and of course on TikTok at Capitan Rafucho 93. And of course, we did something about it. Also, you can help and support our channel or platform by Cash App or PayPal, which my main channel is demonetized for now because right now I have 1K subscribers. Yes, it is. And to be honest, right now, I feel very blessed because not only did I just got 1K subscribers, but of course, I got more to coming up for the summer of Rafucho. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, let's just start the recap of the UFC on AVC, which is come for Abu Dhabi, or Whittaker versus Reinier the Reinier. So first and foremost, we're going to talk about Nikita Krylov versus Bogdan Kuskov. And boy, what can I tell you about this right now? That was a beautiful knockout. That was a beautiful knockout. And I would love to see the next contender for Bogdan Kuskov, Jamal Hill. I mean, that guy led the Conquest Oslos lot in the season. Mina Street, now he's a top 10 light heavyweight in all one lifetime because anything could be possible. And let's see if another competitors, which is Marvin Vittori, makes a move for the light heavyweight. So we might get to see the first ever pay-per-view in Middle Earth, probably in Australia. But that Son of the Punch was definitely nasty and disgusting because it wasn't again Nikita Krylov running naked into a counter, which is totally weird, but I'm just really hyped up for Nikita Krylov versus Bogdan Kuskov because he showed a lot of patience in the power round to finish, but we understand that Nikita Krylov has no chin, and Kuskov got a lot of shins. Well, he got a solid chin like Superman. because he used to have one because he was taking clean shots for Ankalaev, also damaged and pros, and never got dropped. And that activity hurt him before fighting Regis. And he was knocked out pretty cleanly about 3 months ago. That should have been like a major surprise that they want help, because definitely he has been the same since the layoffs and injuries, but also he got a lot of miles and regrets about that. He never had a crazy good chin, and definitely hasn't gotten better. He's like one of those type of the guy who really look really around like a dangerous one. That he was fighting for the counter or getting triangled by Paul Craig years after everyone figured it out what Craig wants to do. Layoffs and injuries don't help for sure. It don't for sure. But it's always kind of nice to see like Krilo get chin. Yeah, he got blasted at all. But the guy was really knocked out for a few months back against the surgery knockout, but it's really shocked because after that we've seen like a favorite, but it's always got to do get the vicious knockout. They'll get like at the comeback. But if the next fight doesn't trumpet his fans ever strangely his chance, he should have won that easily because he's all that he thinks that he drop at the right hand with a drop at the left too. I mean, that could have happened a lot. That could have happened. Hey, how's it going, Dark? Salute to you. Salute to you, to my brother, Dark. How's it going? Also, Dark to say, oh my God. Okay, so I just mentioned like all over the social media, but I don't have OF. All right? I don't have OF. I don't have. Salute to Rosa Brazil and the Jamie Rose. Salute to you. Salute to you. But the UFC should have cut Krilo. I mean, it's not good that anymore. And Bosco Gustav, Botkan Gustav, he's been a menace. He's been a menace. I mean, it doesn't seem like everything, but I love the cardio. I love the strength clean and the clinch. It became so much getting real. I love that. I just love that. And to be honest, right now, I mean, Nikita Krylov is just like one of those Anthony Smith. Yeah, because they got humble. I mean, he presumes to be the Lionheart, but it got shitty battles. They got shitty battles. Shitty battles, to be honest. All right, so next up, we got to talk about Asu Almabey versus Jose Ochoa. Now, if you guys remember that Daniel Silhuber dropped this worst performance against Michael Johnson days ago. But right now, we just got another victim coming up there. Another victim, Jose Ochoa. Because that was like the short notice from hell for Jose Ochoa. Because at this point, he looked pretty good to see whether he lost. And he did like a good job getting it like a lot of times and threatening some submissions for his back. Never getting like into rhythm on the feet though. Because I think it's gonna be like the time for him playing the rule that if you point the guard and they immediately shoot for like a technical knockout, that's fine. That's fine at all. Because I know the flyweight is so rich with talent, easily the most underrated division. Because you have Ben, you have Lima, you have Alster, you have Ochoa, Steve Erceg, learning all young promising fighters. And they forgot Tatsu Taira. It was a competitive fight. But Ochoa can go for a long way, but also Almabey clearly won. He was grabbing like a defense weight performer. The takedown was dirty. If it's another weight class, also will get a title shot. Probably yes, probably not. But he was too much playing guard and not getting back up. That was just like a classic shoot box. It was very different because it's funny because they used their best fighter, Charles Oliveira. He used submission threats from the bottom to force scrambles and sweeps with no intention to finish the fight at all. And also Almabey, he understand it. He understand it. I mean, does anyone have the copy? No, they doesn't. They doesn't. But Ochoa should be fine. I mean, he doesn't want to have to fight the wrestler Nets, probably. But Amobe did not do like much damage with his wrestler because he didn't display. There was only one dimensional fighter, and most of those fighters didn't have like more dimensional. He had answers, judges, giving out the bad calls, but at the same time, I thought that Jose Ochoa could be had a lot of potential, but he wasn't trying to certainly get the back up. He spent too much time to get submissions from guard. That's time to spend trying to get back up. I mean, he spent like a majority on the ground to use like the butterfly guard to elevate Alma Bay for the hip escape because he drew up like 2 triangles from guard and the Kimura lock, which one of those 10 seconds where they entered the round, he was like to get back on his feet and land everything. So he was trying to like to get the majority in the spend on his back. But I'll give like the same advice to Daniel Sehuber, including Jose Ochoa. They need to get a wrestling coach. All right. So get involved with a lot of submissions. And of course, they need to get involved a lot of things more with the clinching, which is very difficult, but they need to understand it. They need to study. They need to get powered up or get the hell out of here. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. Because that was very competitive. That was very decent. But the flyweight division doesn't have to worry about like the like of the new generation fighters to replace the old. It's not gonna be the same. That can be like for light heavyweight or heavyweight, but at this point they could have shake things up. But I think the lightweight is gonna be actually cooked very soon because I could see like getting a higher ranking, almost like similar how they brought in Michael Chandler. But they came flat too because like just finish it off with his tail like hogging against the fence. I mean, come on. And he threw up like the nasty overhand like possible, and Ochoa didn't even budge. Just like at a pillow hands with Alma Bay. But this like at a flyweights. Pretty coming to get like pillow fisted. Yeah, pillow fisted. To be honest right now. You know what I'm talking about? All right, so next up, we got from the middleweight, Sharabutin Magomedov versus Mark Andre Barrios. As known as Shara the Bullet, Russia, the Mother Russia, versus Mark Andre Barrios, the Canadian. Yep, if you know what I mean, the Canadian. Because I understand that Canada, United States, and Mexico are part of North America. Yep. But, man, Barrios, the Canadian, was in perfect range to throw strikes during round 1, but he was trying to pushing like Shara the Bullet on occasion. I thought it's gonna take him, but that was like pure violence. There was bleed everywhere on the nose, on the face. I was just really shocked the entire fight. And even I just brought my special guest, which is G Nation Inside Sports, as known as the Big Brother Lou. Shout out to the Big Brother Lou, the G Nation Inside Sports. You can subscribe to his channel because not only he talks about New York Giants, and of course, he's talking about a lot of things in UFC and the boxing. Because the boxing is going to be the greatest one when it comes to September. The fight of the decade, the fight of the century, fight of the year. Terrence Crawford versus Saúl Canelo Alvarez. Oh, man. What can I tell you about this right now? Oh, we got Hunter right now. Is a Capitan. Thoughts on Giuliano calling you a snake? I mean, I don't know what that means, but did Giuliano call me a snake? I mean, maybe we can talk face to face right now. I mean, yeah. But talking about Shara Magomedov versus Mark Andre Barrios. Because at this point, I mean, he just wiped up the blood leaking from the top of the head on Shara's jaw. And he was painted like a target, immediately landed like a clean 3-piece combo from $5. And this ranged right off the jaw. Because that was definitely the fight of the night. Yeah, that was definitely fight of the night. Because Shara almost went private at the end. He was like going to stomp it at his head. it was like an actual good clinch fight. Actually, it was a good one because they're looking to do successfully doing damage in there because they're trying to happen enough. But Shara cannot box. Let me tell you for this one. Shara cannot box because when did those guys realize for this one? Because infuriating watching Mark pressing him into the pocket, then it's really drive for a shitty takedown or back up into a kicking range because that low IQ that just cost him like the W. Yep. DW. What that means. Because I understand that do we have to classify Barrios as a camp? Because I feel like 15, 25 is the often fight for the people who win to take the next step up because it's not that elite. But he's post weakness plenty. Because I get it like really frustrated. Yeah, I was like really frustrated that when the fighters get their opponents in the stand-up or commit like a shitty takedown. And Barrio de Magomed did just really rock. It was doing like more damage on the clinch. Then he was spending like 2 minutes on the takedown and it did nothing exhaust him. It gave like Magomed time to recover. And I'll tell you for this one. I'm telling you. Because that was like a low fight for Barrio. Because he rocked Sherrod immediately went for the clinch for some reason twice. But I just loved it. Because Sherrod is so fucking ass. Because they gotta feed him to just like welcome punching backs. But Shara, I know that Shara is like a top 25 fighter. But Barry is a journeyman here for the taking, and he still got a lot of problems. Now we know that he was something better, but Shara has bad boxing, and I just said it. And of course, his grappling is not his system, but his clinch is very good. I mean, his frames are being pushed by the against side of the cage, but stronger were great. Got a bench his positions quite like it a few times, like the big knees and elbows. But the round number 2 was one of the best runs. That was like a great scrap, and Shara was entertaining. And he looks like the pirate. I can appreciate it about that. I can be because I understand there are some comments on the social media that say Shara Bulik will never be champion. But at the same time, you can always stick with him with a main card of Fight Night main event. It will guarantee as a banger. That will guarantee at all. That will guarantee at all. Because they got saved. Because someone that have the widest racial expectations for Shara if you really shock that performance. Because I understand that he stole the show when he rocked burials. He understands very, very, very well. And I love that. I just love that because that was like a pure violence coming up there. I love it. And I love it. Oh, man. All right. So next up, we got another fight coming up there, which is the main event. Well, not the main event. Well, the co-main event. Pete Young versus Marcus McGee. And I'm telling you this one, I was very impressive about Pete Young clinch, which is truly amazing. Because this wouldn't be like a Pete Young fight without the classic trip. He just had to force it right in for the end. Because he was trying to the end of the second, but he was like a little bit out of range, but I thought it was gonna be it, and he would have get it, but they knows how to place the fence. They know how to place it all around for the fence. Because I know it's very hilarious how obvious it is for Pete Young, but he looks like a mid-tier fight in the round number 1. And then immediately one of the best in the round 2, like every single fight. But he's gonna battle with his high guard off, not that great. But then it completely turns it around and makes McGee look outclassed. I mean, if this man gives like a title shot, I don't care if Merab shoots 50 times on him again. Because everybody thought that Merab doesn't want to fight again Pete Young because I know that he looks really scared. looked really scared because it's such a nightmare. Red Lane still defensive responsible. I don't think it's gonna be frustrated because they will treat it like a crime if John doesn't get a title shot once Corey Sandhagen, Marab Debashili. Because if O'Malley gets a immediate rematch with Marab, surely John deserves a shot after rematch after 3 wins on the road. But during for that fight, he was at it. He was competitive striking at the range, but the short range, the clinch, Pete Young and Class McGee. Also was catching McGee every time that he was decided for the close quarter exchange. That was such a great game plan because the round 2 and 3, they're all in favor of Pete Young. Yep, they're all in favor of Pete Young. And I loved it. It was like the master class. And the high guard makes for fun fights for Pete Young. In the fashion of Muay Thai, he doesn't even to try to dodge strikes. He just blocks everything that don't like, and he's trying to be clean and damaging because you can lower it like the hardest strikes. And he will just eat like turtle off when it's coming back. But some of the hardest shots he got, except now you're trying to flurry and it's been chilling under the guard. But they doesn't know about the difference, and it's so annoying that they tie for the significant strikes in the second one. But McGee, he just fought very well. He needs to get improved a lot. He needs to, because John is simply like at a level, because there's like a lot of props to stay in there and give it the best. But Jan is just like at another level with the striking, the angles, the grappling. But he became like really dominant. Became really dominant. But he just looked like Wayne Rooney. What are those typical greatest soccer players? Because it's just like a brilliant all-around fighter. Technical strength, full aggression, and that trip takedown was really something. And I would tell for this one, I mean, if they don't have the rematch between Pet Young versus Miranda Bashili, the people will get, I don't know, something happened. Yep. And everybody thought it's going to be, wow. And I was saying this, not many fighters have a weird jiu-jitsu and judo. And Pete Young was everything. Yeah, Pete Young was everything. And I loved it. And speaking about Pete Young versus Marcus McGee, now it's about to get time to review the main event. Get it with a classic, Bruce Beffer. It's time! It is it's time for the review of Whittaker versus Reinier, the Australian versus the Holland. Yeah, the Dutch one. So this is going to be really fantastic because, oh my goodness, this one brought me everything. Because first and foremost, have you ever seen RDR massive frame taking technical Robert to exhausting sloth face with those knees? That was perfection. And it just looked very, very huge at all. Because the striking level with speed was nowhere. The Rob wasn't capitalized because of the fatigue. But I understand about it. And I'm very sure that if we want to see Reinier versus Draco Suplessis, it will be like the weirdest UFC fight ever. Because, like I said it, folks, not many fighters can contribute with the weirdest judo and the weirdest Brazilian jiu-jitsu. That never happens. And all around for those times. Never. Never. But Whittaker, I mean, the Australian made like a just mistake. Not to try it out back off Reinier against the cage when he had the chance of just backing off to the middle. Just back Reinier up and throw off even that hits the gloves and the arms. But it's just like became athleticism empowered because the knees drive Ross Tank Bankley. Because honestly, up to takedown, I don't feel like Ross was able to enact this game plan. Because I know the people something to complain about for the 5th round, but they're both fucking tired. And RDR was using his frame to take the flight where he just wanted to sort it. But which is really fine. He was a champ for the generation of fighters ago. And I feel like this is like one of the closest fights ever in the whole history. Because after eating fighting knees, 15 knees of the midsection, nobody can blame. In RDR, it seems like a great man. Respectful, so aware, introspective. If Bobby Knuckles, which is Robert Whittaker, had to lose, well, they just got to win. They just got to win. Because check this out. Between the difference of Reinier and Trigus Plexus, they're very similar to strong grapplers. They look very gas, but can grind. But they know about football style headbutt attack because RDR snatched the neck. And DDP just like a back flick and goes to the slip. And he was back into the head and gets knocked out. I mean, why not? I mean, he got some nasty knees, competitive fight. Thought he was good, but he got knocked down. But it might be a good. Might be like really good. But Rogue Taker, I mean, for that reason, I mean, they should have been like starting to throw the body early for the fight. That would say like the right hands to the head later because RDR is very entertaining because that game plan was very interesting because they know about like the dangerous clinch because he was really tough and it just like a nasty work on the clinch because they always invest like shots in the body. They show up tonight for the get tired as I ever see him, but he has a granite chin. Just like a granite chin for Superman because the overhand from Bobby, they will kill a lot of most men. And Whittaker was slowing down even the first round. Even chasing the finish aside, he wasn't able to keep like the strangling movie he was doing because the difference has very well because he just walked into the clinch at numerous times. Yeah, they just keep it like really. They just keep it like really good enough. And I just like, man, everyone is getting knocked out by every shot. Oh my goodness, because I thought it was kind of fight to some of the hate because RD was underrated. He just like became a skilled guy who can grind and hits harder than he looks. Pause. We think it can strike or at least closer to the best of the RDR out, but being introduced to the high level guys, it wasn't like the end of the world. But it just like very, very exciting because we always knew that knee for Reinier and the Redeer is going to move on the feet, but his height advantage combined with Rob Listen make it like ultra effective. Super necessary. They really sapped Rob's energy much earlier than we ever see before. Because I know there's a lot of people who are really mad for we take a loss and somehow thinking that RDR, Reinier the Redeer, only came against the cage. You should be go to watch the fight again. The amount of damage of Rob's body was insane. And that's why he just gassed. I mean, that was like a great fight. For me, that was a great one. Pretty solid, pretty much, because they just show out great fighters from other organizations as very good of top 10 UFC fighters coming up there. And salute to Agaton 9084. Salute to you. Salute to you, everybody. All right, so I understand that I just put a comment that say Hunter. Cover down thoughts on Julian and call you a snake. Okay, so to be honest right now, this is like out of the topics. All right? So I understand that I made a lot of mistakes, but Hunter, let me just check it all this one. Because I just recently, like a few weeks ago, I just talked with Giuliano. I just talked with Giuliano face to face because I didn't have the idea because my mind was really fucked up. And I understand that they just, well, like the gummy gang, they just brainwashed me. Yep. I understand that the gummy gang, including the MMA holes, the MMA holes from Oz, they just brainwashed me. I understand it. And I know that I made a lot of mistakes, but all over those days after that I made a conversation with Giuliano, I stood up my business. I stood up my business, and then I was like, oh, there's a lot against me, but you know what? I'm gonna bear it differently because I understand that. Well, shout out to Ray the Band who teach me a lot for the Black Saturday because I understand this is the fucking internet. So I had to battle. So I had to swing it back. So I had to battle whatever it takes. And then I was like battling each other, just like it doesn't matter. It's 2 versus 1, 5 versus 1. I can take it like all of this. But for the record, I wasn't a snake because I wasn't a person who backstabbing. All right? Because I rather to have a conversation face to face because I understand that I made a lot of mistakes, but in reality, I just wanted to give a conversation face to face and not to run away like a coward. Okay? Not to run away because that shows up. That shows up, everybody. That shows up. That shows up everything.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes. And we all know that we're human beings, many mistakes. But in reality, we have a great heart. We had to fight like each other. We had to fight against all those enemies. We had to fight against all those trolls in head to say, let's get ready to fight and defend ourselves. We're going to stand up, stood over our ground, and let's make it happen. Yep. Let's make it happen, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So the next topic, I was really interesting because I just really thought that, well, in the event of 319 in Chicago, and I just hear the name Caio Borralho. Yeah. What are those fighting nerds that, oh, look at the title about this right now. He's going to be the backup fighter. Yep. The backup fighter of the UFC 319 if Kazma Chimaev is not going to be able. But let me tell you for this one because he offered to step in and fight Kazma Chimaev for the title. Because that's exactly what happened with George St. Pierre, for example. He was scheduled to fight Nick Diaz at UFC 114. Yeah, 143. Got injured. The UFC made an interim fight between Nick and Condit. But Kazman is very good, what I like as well. But Caio has to be proved to be handful himself. But I think it's going to be more competitive than ours thing. Because I understand he's a fighting nerd. Honestly, they could sell a lots of the pay-per-view. And I love that. I love that, ladies and gentlemen. But they keep like to the points because that was gonna be really defended. And Caio has been trying to hop over even more for months now. If I was in the mood, they're probably gonna hate this guy so much. But I feel like he's became like the opportunist. Realize was ever need looking for a title because that should have been like a really smart dude. But just like it with Coritz, because if they need to fight to regret him, if Caio pulls off the fighting nurse hype, it's gonna be through the roof. Yep. But so many fighters have to agree to each other for the fight. But a lot of times, UFC won't book it. But this is all about for like the money, the everything. Because the fight is giving them a possibility is embarrassing to the ranking system and the sport. Compare last wins and Caio's not even half as close to deserving the title shot for Imavu. Because Dragos fought 2 months ago. You can even delay the match because it's not even close to announce. Even Dragos Duplessis was healthy and wanting to fight was still like 3-4 months to the fight didn't happen. But they just went to like another random fighter, like a really young one. Because Kyle is easy work. Jerry Cannonier is so well rounded. But he has a good chance against Kazma Chimaev. But I think that Kazma beats him is going to be like a tough fight and not to repeat the Kazma versus Whittaker. Not anymore. But that boy guy's sitting up there for no reason. Because making it like an official #1 contender fight. Or if Drago Duplessis has a jury, that's going to keep like the reminder for the year interim fight. Because not sure what the most should deal there. Because I don't see like beating Drago Duplessis or Kazma. Because they will have to say like Sean Strickland to cement the status at the top of the division. But some people, they're really weirdly salty like this win over Israel Adesanya. But if they need to go for like the fights, I mean, why have it a problem? I mean, this is what to get like a great fight, but it's gonna be like a really fun. But not many people got lucky enough. Not many people. Because why you gotta retire after becoming champion? Because being champ is like when you get the most money, when you get because they have publicity, they have all the opportunities, but you finally get for like the highest check as a champ. Because it's gonna be trustworthy. And the strategy of telling your bosses to go to screw them if they have the opportunity, but slowing the division to acquire the defender once a year in October, probably absolutely. I mean, what could I tell you? But if they want to, they want to at all. They want to at all. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, that's be it of the fight. Oh, that's be another episode of the Combat Club. This is 100% extreme attitude. So in this club, we're born to fight anytime, anywhere, anyone. All right? Because it's all about fighting. All about fighting. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is Capitan Rafucho. Also, you can follow me on every social media, Twitter, as known as X, at Capitan Rafucho, Instagram at Capitan Rafucho 93, Kick at Capitan Rafucho, and TikTok at Capitan Rafucho 93. So thank you very much, and I hope you see you there. Oh, I hope I see you there. Maybe on Friday, because I'm going to do a preview of the SummerSlam. 2 nights in one event for the first time ever. Because I'm going to bring the Thunder and Lightning for the SummerSlam, which is going to be at New York, New Jersey. So thank you very much. And I hope you see you there on Friday with a preview of the Combat Club previewing the SummerSlam 2025. So thank you very much. I hope to see you there. Have a good Tuesday. And of course, peace out, motherfuckers.